Breaking news, large parts of Spain and Portugal have been hit by a power outage. Footage from Madrid.
Well, we're going to cross in live to Barcelona, talk to our correspondent Dave Keating, who joins us from there. Dave,
large areas of Spain and Portugal have been hit by a power outage.
A very difficult 24 hours. Some people were stuck on elevators, stuck in metros. The traffic.
They warned us, quietly, carefully, intentionally, not in the way people expect, not through the evening news, not with sirens or headlines. No, they warned us with drills, with simulations, with technical reports that no average person ever reads, with language so vague it could mean everything or nothing, but it was there. For years, world leaders, security agencies, and global institutions have been issuing quiet alerts. Whispers, not alarms. Memos, not broadcasts. Preparing not the public, but themselves. And now the silence is being broken. Not with words, but with outages. Sudden, global, unexplained. Power grids flicker. Communication lines drop. Entire nations disappear from the map for hours at a time. And what's more terrifying than the darkness is how easily we accept it. Welcome to Silent Blackout. This is not just a channel. It's a signal, a record of warnings ignored, of questions unasked, and of patterns the world is too distracted to notice. Today, we're going deep into the Silent Blackout Theory, a theory no longer dismissed as fiction, a theory that may already be unfolding in front of us. And the question is no longer what if, the question is when. The Silent Blackout Theory is built on a single disturbing idea, that the blackouts we've seen around the world, the ones blamed on cyber attacks, outdated infrastructure, or even solar storms, may not be failures, but tests, strategic disruptions, planned rehearsals to gauge our response. It proposes that the increasing frequency of large-scale outages is not random, that these events are data points, each one measured, timed, and analyzed behind the scenes. They're not trying to destroy the system. They're trying to understand how fast it can collapse and how quietly people will comply. Because what happens when the lights go out? When your phone has no signal? When your bank card won't process? When your apartment complex, your neighborhood, your entire city goes silent? The first reaction isn't anger. It's confusion, then fear, then obedience. That's the psychological sequence the theory focuses on. Not the technology, the behavior. How fast will you follow emergency instructions? How quickly will you believe the first explanation they give? How long until you accept that the darkness is your new reality? This isn't about electricity. This is about control, because the absence of power is the presence of silence, and silence is fertile ground for compliance. Let's be clear, this theory doesn't claim that every blackout is part of a conspiracy, but it argues that in a hyper-connected world, there's no such thing as coincidence at this scale anymore. If 3 major blackouts occur on different continents in the same week, and all are labeled unrelated incidents, shouldn't we at least be asking questions? Let's talk about what they've actually said. Not speculation, official records. In 2017, the U.S. Department of Homeland Security released a report warning that a coordinated cyber attack on the grid could cause nationwide disruption. The following year, NATO held a joint cyber defense exercise that simulated a blackout across Europe caused by malware. And just months ago, in closed-door meetings, several countries participated in an energy resilience drill, simulating the total collapse of national energy systems, down to the minute, including supply chain paralysis, food distribution failure, and mass civil unrest. They are preparing. They always have been, but not for prevention, for management, how to maintain control during collapse, how to secure assets, how to redirect public trust, and most of all, how to reset everything when the dust settles. Because after the blackout comes the proposal, the solution, the new system. You've heard the phrase before, never let a crisis go to waste. But what if the crisis is engineered, not as an act of aggression, but as a tool of transition, from one form of power to another? Let's think about what a true silent blackout would look like. It wouldn't start with panic. It would start with inconvenience. The internet cuts in and out. A few banking apps go offline. Cloud services glitch. You think it's just your phone. Then the power cuts out. The lights flicker. The traffic lights go dead. But it's localized, so you wait. Hours pass. No news. No explanations. Then you realize your phone won't call out. The networks are down. Your smart home can't unlock your door. Your refrigerator shuts down. You start to understand. This is bigger than just a power outage. Now imagine that scenario, but scaled up. Not a neighborhood, not a city, but a continent. And suddenly, the people who were laughing at warnings like these are sitting in the dark, wondering when the silence will end. That's the moment when new policies are introduced, when emergency powers are declared, when citizens are told, "Don't worry, we've got it under control. All you need to do is comply." In many ways, this theory isn't a prediction. It's a blueprint. It explains the strategy of control through disruption. Because when everything goes offline, we lose access not just to services, but to truth. Who controls the information in a blackout? Who writes the first report? Who confirms what happened when no one can verify it? We become dependent not on electricity, but on the narrative. And when the grid comes back online, if it comes back at all, you're no longer living in the same system. Something has changed. The rules, the oversight, the access, everything you knew has been redefined. You see, the silent blackout theory is not about chaos. It's about quiet transition, order through confusion, control through disorientation. And the terrifying part is, it works. Because while most people are searching for their flashlight, those in power are flipping the switches that define your future. So ask yourself, would you recognize the start of a silent blackout if it happened tomorrow? Would you be able to communicate with your family? Would you be able to feed them? Would you be able to protect your data, your money, your identity? Most wouldn't. Most would wait, just like they're expected to, because they've been trained by a life of convenience to trust that the system always comes back on. But what happens when it doesn't? This message is not about fear. It's about awareness. This is not about panic. It's about pattern recognition. If you can see the signs, you can prepare for them. You can act early. You can think clearly. You can stay grounded while others lose control. This is what Silent Blackout is here for. To bring light to the plan behind the darkness. To say what no one else will, before it's too late to say anything at all. Subscribe now, because when the lights go out, the truth is not what they'll tell you. The truth is what you already knew. And if you're still here, still watching, that means you're ready to listen, to learn, to prepare, and to never trust the silence again. This is Silent Blackout. We'll see you before they turn the lights off again.